All right. Why people are dying of coronavirus. Now this is pre-existing, get this, pre-existing acute kidney impairment. What? Did someone talk about what we're teaching people? A proposed theory based on past and present science. And this is published acute renal impairment in coronavirus associated severe acute respiratory syndrome, Kidney International, the official journal of the International Society of Nephrology, 2005. 2005? Corona, 2005. This document in no way underestimates the seriousness of the current COVID-19 situation nor efforts currently being made. Quite the contrary. I am maybe one guy, and this guy is also not afraid to speak truth. And if people don't want to hear it, I don't care. I was sent to this planet to help you guys and to bring those that are ready to open up and awaken. And I don't care. I'm not letting anybody stop me. And especially the medical people. They're part of the problem. So I don't care if I step on toes. I don't care. Because if we don't, and we it's okay. No. I don't play around. Get this. The mortality rate was significantly higher among patients with SARS, the SARS, and acute renal impairment compared with those with SARS and no renal impairment. So get this. The death rate of people with renal failure, acute renal failure, with the SARS was 91.7%. Those people that died with no renal impairment was only almost 9%. Whoa! Oh! 92% of the people died with renal impairment, and only 8 or 9% that didn't have renal impairment. Wow, so renal. How can we connect the renal, the kidneys, with the lymph system? You guys already have. And you guys are already trying to get your kidneys to filter, to open up the lymphatic system. You know how much ahead you are of these people? Now this was written in 2005. Amazing. Renal tissues revealed predominantly acute tubular necrosis with no evidence of glomerular pathology. So, what we're saying is the lymphatic system in your body, when it's backed up, it's also backed up in the very eliminative organs that eliminate. The kidneys. They're also in the bladder wall. So what do you experience when you have lymphatic stagnation in the bladder wall? Cystitis. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. See? On my end. Now, this is good stuff. I really like this a lot. All right. So this is really good. All right. So viruses. You guys know what a virus is, right? It's a protein around a DNA or an RNA, right? Why do some people experience no or mild symptoms when others die? I want to go on down here a little bit before I get into that. This is a good reading. If you want me to, I'll put it up on our website. The viral activation process, 3 essential steps for serious infection to occur. Right? Viruses, including SARS and the current COVID-19, once inside our body, first bind to spikes protruding from our cell membranes called glycoprotein spikes. Now, in anatomy and physiology, when you get into cell pathology, but even into cytosis and studying the cells, they call these little glycoprotein spikes sometimes cell mediators and things like that. I have a different opinion. When you see the lymphatic system broken down, inflamed kidneys, the lymph backing up, the lymph node swelling, and everything else, we know that diets of predominantly proteins and high sucrose sugar foods are responsible for that. Okay, so that's going to be your proteins of every source, beans, meats, even the grains or higher proteins. Then you've got your polysaccharides. Those two forms of chemistry, one being a nitrogen-rich, one being a carbon-rich, both initiate a mucosic response, mucus forming. Suck on a piece of hard candy, concentrated sucrose, and see if you don't get mucus from it. And the same thing with a protein. And a lot of times you don't know you get mucus from a protein because it doesn't always affect the lungs and the sinuses like a sugar mucus or like a dairy mucus, which is a protein mucus. So it is my opinion, and you have to understand something. No virus is going to enter a healthy cell wall. No virus is going to enter a healthy cell. They need these glycoprotein spikes. The problem with that is, in my opinion, that's part of a weakened cell. Genetically, when you look at cells and you understand nature, you got to apply nature to these things. Nature doesn't attack the strong. That'd be a mistake. You only attack the weak. So I've said this for 48 years. I've been doing this 48 years now. I've always said the strong survive, the weak are eliminated. And that's true with a mama bird and baby. You have a bunch of babies in a nest, and one of them is weakly, out it goes. No, nothing. Because if nature procreates its weaknesses, it will become human. Because humans keep procreating its weaknesses. And then we wonder why the cell morphology at this level is so low. Why there's so much genetic weaknesses. How do you weaken the morphology of a cell? How do you weaken a cell? There's only two sides of chemistry, and you only have blood and lymph around a cell. You know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand what's going on with people. Right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist. It is my opinion that these glycoprotein spikes are not there as supposed to be. These protein mediators, what they call them, these spikes are actually designed to pull in virals or proteins. Why is that? When you have a weakness, how does nature inform your immune cells, your lymphocytes for the most part, which include the monophils, which can become the macrophages, you have neutrophils and all that. How does your body signal these cells? Well, you have mediators of all kinds, interleukins and things like that. People that are treated with these things, of course, don't do well. So, I'm losing my thought because I was going to continue this one over here. All right. So, anyway, I think that these glycoprotein things are bonded to the cell, not naturally, unnaturally. When the body becomes acidic and you start getting lymph stagnation, not only do you have metabolitic acids, like was brought out by that one guy, but you have also proteins and things like that are dumped into that by the blood. Remember, the blood is going to dump because you can't compromise the blood. The blood is always going to dump. Where's its cleaning mechanism? And it's not the liver. Where's its cleaning mechanism? The spleen. The spleen is a lymphoid tissue. The spleen is a lymphatic tissue. And the blood, if you read about the spleen, the blood refurbishes itself, cleans itself in the spleen. Well, where does the spleen dump its waste? And the waste from the blood? Right through the lymph nodes and right through the kidneys. There's got to be an elimination to the outside world, guys. Not everything is like like these toilets and things. So when a cell gets weakened, proteins adhere to it naturally because it's part of the call of the wild. Hey, I'm not doing so good. I need to be replaced. Boom, these cells come in. Done. Wait a minute. The lymph system, I can't get my cells there. I can't get my lymphocytes over there because you're stagnant. You're full, you're swollen, I can't get through. Let alone get through, take a cell to the lymph nodes. Can't do it. And this is what happens in these cancer cases. The lymph system is so stagnant and so backed up that the immune system can't work. It's not an autoimmune problem. It's an immune system that can't work because the kidneys have failed. And this one report right there about renal kidney failure, that's from a science journal. How interesting is that when we take and tie that into what we know, it just actually verifies what we teach you. This, to me, it just totally verifies what we teach, 100%. So I think these glycoprotein spikes are simply signals, antennas, and they're not on all cells. They're only on those cells that are genetically weakened or weakened by acidosis to the point where they need to be terminated. There's got to be a signal to the lymphocytes to do this. And that's my opinion on this. Viruses require 3 distinct processes to occur in order for the virus to become active, multiply, and create a serious infection. Well, whenever you see weaknesses in cells, they're going to be invaded. And I've talked about this before, and this is why I always tell you guys to power up. Because the weak are being invaded by untruths, propaganda, and lies. You don't want to fall into that. Because life isn't much fun when you're controlled by others, particularly governments and medical doctors. I mean, this is all medical. The medical community actually shut down the world over this. And you see the hazmats, you see all this stuff and people walking around and everything like that. They got this world scared shitless. And they don't know how to bring someone that's in a nursing home on a ventilator, so they don't know how to bring someone through that. We do. I've had 48 years of bringing people through double pneumonias and all kinds of things. People don't die under us. I never had anybody die from flus and pneumonias and things, no matter how old they are. But we know how to do it right. We know what's going on. We know how to help and assist the body's elimination processes, not stop it. See, medical doctors try to stop symptoms. You can't live a life without symptoms and eat the trash you are. I've been eating some Indian food now and then, and that's why I got it. Yogurts and stuff, I'm going, Oh, I never get it. I never have a problem. When I was living in the woods as fruitarian, it's like I used to go just try to get sick. I used to go anywhere anybody was sick. I heard of anything. I used to go in there and just hug people and everything just to prove. And I never had nothing. I never had a problem. Started eating a little Indian yogurt and stuff like that. Vegetable karma, maybe a little naan. Bam! I love it because now I'm cleaned out even more. I breathe better, think better, I have more energy, I'm ready to go. I love them. And I've had hundreds through my life because I'm a farm boy drinking milk. You milk drinker, you're going to have a lot of them.